Roger that.
I don't want to work. I just want to bang on the drum all day. Oh, sorry. The drum being Haruhi Suzumiya, don't you see?
Ah.
Okay. Yeah, earlier I was getting pissed off because my mic and headset wasn't working.
Mm.
Like, you know, and I'm hitting the test button and it's showing it and there's no sound and I'm all panicking and shit. Like, oh crap. Bad timing. So I guess I have you to blame for my newfound hatred of the telephone.
Don't blame me, blame...
The telephone?
You know what, I guess, I don't know. I just
I-
think, like, whenever someone calls me on my phone, it's like, dude, I'm probably doing something, and even if I'm not doing anything, I'm committed to not doing anything, so it's like, what the fuck is you calling me for, son?
They want to be real.
They can be real somewhere else, shit. Oh god, I have to reconfigure my email with 8.1.
Okay.
Fun.
What now?
I need to reconfigure the mail thing. Give me a second. Oh wait, no I don't. Thank you, based Windows, for not making me have to reconfigure every goddamn thing.
Yeah. I basically just had to re-plug in the USB, port, so all my stuff, or it's a hub is what it is. I think that's what the official word for these are. Where it's got like four that come out of one.
Like
Yeah.
I've got the mouse and the keyboard
It's
hooked
like
up to a hub, and then I have the Mixer Alpha going into one of the USB ports, the camera going into one of the USB ports, and then Mixer Bravo is on the USB ports on the second computer.
Ah, okay. Well, I would say it's kind of like basically like the extension cord for or the what the hell, surge protector.
Yeah, basically.
for USB ports, and it's just a big outlet. It was kind of necessary because for all the features this computer has, it does not have a lot of USB port out.
Yeah,
it's got a couple.
That's the problem with mine. And to be honest, even if it did have enough USB ports for everything I need, I'd rather have like both the keyboard and mouse on one USB hub just so I have that way.
Right. Oh. So you don't. Okay. Yeah. Your keyboard isn't. You use an external keyboard.
I use an external keyboard.
Yeah, I don't do that.
The keyboard on the laptop is actually really nice. It's basically the same thing as this. It has the number pad on the right and all that, but
yeah. Fuck those that don't have number pads.
I can't stand it.
I've had one time and I hated it.
And like you can't play. I have to reconfigure all the controls in MechWarrior 4. It's awful.
You have to use function and alt codes to do simple shit. It's
dumb.
fucking annoying.
I like how the Metro apps appear in your taskbar in 8.1 as well.
Yeah. See, I've just gotten it, so I mean, I don't even want to say it because I keep overhearing it literally.
Well, now you know that the Metro apps appear in your taskbar, which is a very nice feature. Okay, we all ready?
As ready as I'm ever gonna be, man.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me put this link out.
It's all good.
Somehow fucking 719 people have watched that dumb video I did of shooting ISA with an airsoft gun.
Probably people butt hurt.
I know it has more dislikes than likes.
Ah, yeah. I bet you the crew from the International Samoa League is there.
Good, fuck them. You're gonna have ISA Aragaki in there every single year, but no strike witches.
Yeah, and what's the deal with the Angel
joke.
Beats worship?
See,
I mean, like I don't even dislike the show.
I'm all set with the Angel Beats worship. I'm indifferent toward that. All I know is that ISA is a bitch, and they consistently have her and not any strike witches.
What is this? I don't even. Basically. Everything ready?
Okay,
Yes.
everybody?
Uh-huh.
Give me a second.
Let me retweet that so it goes out on my feed as well.
Okay, now I'm ready.
Okay.
In 3, 2. Welcome to NTR Radio. I'm Tom Enforcer Anubis.
I'm K-Gods.
And I'm VZ Mark II, looking up Dojin stuff online while we
go.
talk.
It's a good way to spend an evening.
A good way to spend an evening. We're also wearing a plate carrier for no reason.
Well, at least you took the pipe off.
He
Yeah.
has to look the part, man. He has to be the part, you know? The
real reason I'm wearing it is because I'm real pumped about the Task Force MOE patch that just came out.
You know you're going to end up being a meme, don't you?
So, I'm already like I'm serious. Like, there was some school event where there was someone taking a picture of me. It's a really nice ass picture too, by the way, and they made that into a meme. Like the school community made that into a meme.
What meme was this? I have to know.
It's like Time Enforcer Anubis is not amused, because I was sitting there looking like one called it mob status. Like I looked like a mafia individual.
Wow. Impressive. With my new account, I just got to my 1,000th tweet. Ugh,
There we go.
My tongue. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was necessary. I need some water.
You need some water.
Label.
Yeah, for real.
Label.
I can't talk.
So what's been going on?
Been watching anime, acquiring new nicknames, some other stuff. I'll explain that a little later.
So what have you been watching?
Same stuff I was. I also threw in a couple of random things just for shits and giggles.
Mm.
I don't think I mentioned last time that I actually finally watched an episode of Fairy Tale, just out of morbid curiosity.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it was fine. I just couldn't get past the dub. It wasn't working for me.
Was
To be
it? It
perfectly
wasn't the
honest,
first episode, was it?
Oh no, it was like some random episode. It was like 100 and something.
Oh, you just took. All right.
It was
to
just
be
one of
perfectly
those.
honest,
I'm going
I
to.
have no idea what Fairy Tale even is.
I'm gonna
I have
like
no
yeah.
concept of it.
I know it's no, it's like the show that looks like One Piece, but
It's
got
better than
more-
that. I can already tell it's better than that, but
Well, it's A1 Pictures, of course. It's going to look better than something done by Toei, just on principle.
well, yeah. Mr. and Mrs. outsource themselves.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
That studio is a total shadow of its former self. It has like no I'm not A1. I'm talking about Toei. Has like absolutely
yeah, I knew that.
has like no relevance in it of what,
But Crystal.
which is
Crystal.
which is because this week I was watching on my because I was taking when I was doing my review for the Strike Dagger, I needed something to watch while I was working, and so I was watching the Fist in the North Star movie.
Yeah.
Which looks, even though it's DVD, it looks great on my Blu-ray player. But back to what you were watching.
Okay, so yeah, I watched a random episode. I do not know which episode. It's 140 or something. I don't know.
Mm.
It was some random episode because I was just curious because I've seen people talking about it and I had nothing better to do. so I did watch it. And I enjoyed it except for the fact that the dub just felt wrong somehow. You know what I mean? I hadn't seen it like in its original form to even compare it to. It still just didn't seem right somehow.
Right.
Like it didn't match the personalities enough or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I had to stick up my ass that day. I don't know.
Also possible.
It's it's
but yeah, it was all right. It definitely has. I mean, just by telling you it, I was watching 140 something episode or whatever it was tells you it's long. So, what is with shows like that anyway?
I don't know. That's why I don't watch them.
They're not meant to end until they lose popularity.
Well, I kind of gathered that, but I mean, what's with? Never mind. Anyhow,
And Naruto's ending.
Finally.
Yeah.
Wah.
Oh, I don't care. I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I still have a feeling we'll see people that think they can do martial arts at cons.
Oh, certainly. That's never gonna end.
So anything else?
Oh yeah, that was just one of the one-offs that I watched. Let's see. Continuing to watch Amagi Brilliant Park, of course,
Yes.
which is just lots of fun.
It's fantastic.
I like it a lot.
What a
It
great
was one
show
of those
that
things. If you just like look at the description or the synopsis of it, it doesn't seem like it'd be all that interesting.
Honestly,
I'm
I'm actually kind of pumped by the premise. Like,
Well, yeah, but that
Roller
doesn't
Coaster
count.
Tycoon, the animated series, let's go.
That doesn't count
That was
though.
my game.
That shouldn't count because you have on record in the past said you would build that shit in your backyard if you had the money
Yes.
and celebrate completely trivial, stupid events.
Who wouldn't? If you had infinite disposable income, would you or would you not build yourself an amusement park in your backyard, which was huge, by the way, because you, again, have infinite disposable income, and then subsequently just have random dumb parties for dumb things for no reason because you have infinite money?
I just like the idea of you throwing a barbecue because you beat a high score.
Yeah, or like beat some 8-year-old at Virtual On. Yeah, I'll come to my house and have a party.
BYOB.
Guess who's not invited? That 8-year-old. Should have won. We would have had a party with you if you won.
I will say that I'm not. I will say that the animation isn't up to par compared to some other KyoAni stuff. I mean, it still looks great because it's KyoAni, but You know what I mean?
I don't give a damn about the animation. I give a damn about 50 Cent.
We should bring that up just in case there's like all two of you who haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, so
Anubis, you want to take the last one?
This is like the second best part of the entire show. Like the main characters are named after rappers. So Kanye,
Ice Cube,
Kanye West, Ice Cube, 50 Cent, Queen Latifah.
Good stuff. And we all like 50 Cent.
Of course.
She is fantastic.
And you're, of course, watching the Gundam stuff.
Oh, well, naturally. But speaking of, first off, I love the opening. Every time I watch it, it's just fun to watch.
Which one, the Maki or?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just like the way. I don't know.
Look at the sky, it's magical.
Not necessarily the song itself, so much as the actual way it looks.
Yeah. I love the song for Reconquista also. Where it's like, I have to say, I'm surprised. Like Bill, the new Bill Fighters. Yeah, I was gonna like that, but I'm actually really liking Reconquista. I don't
the
care.
new Bill Fighters is actually gonna have to convince me. Because I'm not all 100% on board with the G Gundam theme.
Oh, see, I actually like that new kind of.
I'm not on board with. Here's the thing I'm not on board with. I'm not on board with hand-to-hand combat in mobile suits entirely. Like if it had here's my fighting style if I were to pilot a mobile suit.
Eddie Gordo.
Yeah.
That would be a fucking travesty.
Oh, I'd like to see someone try and mobile suit Eddie Gordo.
Mobile suit has fucking beach shorts on and stuff.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's probably good.
That way. But like I'd have the gun, right? And then I'd have like the Heat Hawk or whatever. And then if I'm in Heat Hawk range, I'm also kicking. So all I'm doing is kicking. But I also have the weapons. Like I don't know. I'm not on board with the in a world of guns and swords and lasers also doing hand-to-hand combat exclusively. At least with no weapons.
Enough, that's exactly how the fight in Char's Counterattack goes. When all these crazy things like fin funnels and psychic.
It's Tamino.
And then at the end, they're punching each other.
Because they exhausted. I haven't seen it, so I'm gonna guess. Because they exhausted all their other weaponry, right?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, 120mm machine gun. Okay, I'm out of ammo. Ditch that. Go for the Heat Hawk. Okay, I'm in the Heat Hawk. I'm also kicking. Oh, Heat Hawk gets knocked out of my hand. Time to start punching shit. Aim for the chest because that's where they're sitting.
You both are missing the biggest.
I don't get the complaints that people saying like, "Oh, doesn't like I don't." First off, it's Tomino. You should expect not to understand everything.
Like I'm saying, dude, there's toilets in them. First off, that is a brilliant idea because people shit their pants in some of these battles.
Excuse me, I gotta rub one out while fighting. Wait, just excuse me.
No. That's not even that. Ugh.
Kind of sort of makes sense though, because listen, you're out on a long campaign. Where are you gonna go to the bathroom? I mean, there's some variant of the.
There you go.
Flanker.
Now you know that Char Aznavour shat his pants in a diaper.
I mean, hey, that's probably how they did it in the pilot suit. But here's my thing: there's a variant of the flanker, the attacker variant, the strike flanker, that actually has a small kitchen and a toilet in back of it. This is a fighter jet, by the way.
Mm.
For
Right.
people who don't know what a flanker is. But yeah, it makes sense.
Well, think about this, okay? You know somebody that got bull charged by like Yazan Gable shit themselves. I mean, he's not even a new type, and he still manages to really wreck shit.
Okay, so yeah, I've been watching those things. I am all over Girlfriend Beta. I am enjoying that show a lot.
What exactly is a beta woman?
I'm liking it a lot. It's got no story really. It's not. It's based on a mobile cell game.
Yeah, it's a cell phone game.
Yeah.
Those
Cell
don't
phone
need
card game.
stories.
Yeah, it's just I like, but no, I'm enjoying that. Yeah, I can't wait for Aki Toyosaki's character to show up though. That's what I'm really waiting for. But the other thing is what else? I'm watching the Inu battle. The one
How's that going?
the trigger one.
That's the trigger. Yep.
Yeah. I'm liking that. It's fun. If you like the main character, if you like Yuta, when he was all chuny, he's kind of
Right.
like that. The main character is like that, except he gets stuck with a shitty power.
So he's like Monty.
No, because Monty actually had some use. This is like
Heart actually did have some use at some points in time.
We've already talked about that. This is just a blue flame that's not even hot. It's lukewarm.
Wow.
But the other thing was, what else? I told you this, but I don't think I said it in the show. I picked up the show called Yuki Yuna is a Hero, which I'm actually really enjoying that one too. It's incredibly derivative of Madoka, shamelessly so. It's got that same type of like music. You know that like
I'm sort of not pumped about.
like that Enya type of music.
Yeah.
What?
No, I was just laughing at something.
The Enya
Sorry.
type of music.
Don't laugh unless I because I'm completely out of the loop otherwise. Yeah. So one of the girls is as I said, one of the girls is in a wheelchair, but when when she transforms, she like her clothes do the walking for her.
Super Katawa Shoujo.
Doozy bots.
Mission successful.
No, because Doozy Botsy got stuck as a gun tank. Who wants to be as a gun? Who wants to be a gun
Nobody ever
tank?
wants to be the gun tank.
No, that's because it's like a step above a ball.
The only thing was, it felt like I even like had to take a look. Like I was watching the third episode, and which was the recent one, and I'm like, wait, did I miss an episode? No, because I watched 1 and 2, and this is I felt like, I felt like an episode was missing from 2 to 3, because it's like new girl already into, and I just feel like,
Just an inconsistency.
yeah, it just. I mean, granted, Madoka was kind of like that, where it's like, third episode, mommy dies already. You feel like things.
Spoiler.
Come on, yeah. So I know it's time constraint thing, but still, it feels a little too fast for that. Yeah. Okay. The other thing that I was watching this morning was they made an OVA, that next episode for the second season of Chunibyo.
Right.
Which
finish the second
it's
season
actually pretty funny. It's basically Yuta's friend gave him a USB a flash drive that had his favorite idol when he was a Chunibyo. And Rika saw that, and then she accidentally destroyed it.
Uh-oh.
The feels.
and I really don't like how it just like it doesn't really end that series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that because the
Land Before Time syndrome.
well, it's like they could have stopped it with the way the first season ended,
The
specifically
Land.
episode 12. But then it was like, okay, second season, but it didn't really. I just feel it wasn't really a conclusive. And I really doubt we'll get a third season. Yeah.
The Land Before Time 8. Littlefoot is not so little.
Little foot is still little.
No, is not so little. Or better yet, what do you
Better
call
check
that?
thyroid.
Yeah.
Gland.
Since we're talking about ridiculous, it'd be like the Land Before Time 20, extinction event.
Yeah, Land Before Time 20. What's that thing in the sky?
What are those things with the torches?
No, it'll be the creationism version where there's people where they're riding saddles.
Yeah, where there's people.
Yeah, exactly. They're playing like the Flintstones theme and shit. They punch the rock clock.
And I think that's about it. I mean, I still have I downloaded. I haven't watched it yet, but I have the Tamako Market movie, which isn't called Tamako Market. It's called Tamako Love Story, and I was actually highly waiting that.
You're gonna have to tell me if that goes somewhere because I might
birds.
watch it.
Well,
depending
already,
on-
well, I already said it's just based on what I heard. It's already, they already fixed what was wrong with the series. Get rid of the bird, and get rid of the annoying native girl. I didn't like either of those characters.
That's only. Actually, I didn't reach the annoying native girl. I gave up before that. So that doesn't tell me anything about whether or not it goes anywhere. That's my primary problem.
Azusa had a tan.
I don't know if I watched that episode or series of episodes of K-On! Or if I just did not.
I don't know.
What I'm saying is, my criterion for whether or not I'm gonna watch that movie is, does it go somewhere? Because that was my primary problem with the show. I didn't feel like it was going anywhere.
Well,
I felt like it was trying to go somewhere, but just was not.
You'll probably know by next next podcast.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, going back a bit to Amagi Brilliant Park, since we were talking about their names and whatnot, we were actually talking about humorous ideas for AMVs.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead. You had the original one.
Well, this one's pretty basic. You get various scenes of Sento, and just have 50 cents in the club playing over it. Very simple AMV.
Shaking her butt. Take it to the candy shop.
Or that song.
What?
That song, The Candy Shop.
Yeah, we need that one. That would be a good one, actually.
Considering I don't listen to any rap at all, like 0.000 negative 5,000. Yeah, I would have like absolutely no idea or interest. I mean, I know the names. I know these names. And I only know Queen Latifah because of her show. That's about it. But the other thing I was actually doing was gaming. I was playing some Sonic CD.
The best.
I get frustrated with the time. Well, I remember the fifth boss is always frustrating. The fifth.
Which one was that? Because I forget what order the levels are in.
That was the gravity level. Where it's not gravity. It's the one. It's the level where it was called Wacky Workbench.
Oh, Wacky Workbench.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite levels. That level, it's just because of that floor.
Yeah, and the whole thing is you have to jump when Robotnik, and you have to jump on the little platform, and if you fall, there's like the electric on the floor.
I kind of remember that, but it's been a while since I played through that game.
Yeah. The other thing
I
was...
remember all the levels, but not all the bosses.
The other thing is I've been playing probably my favorite shooter ever, or one of my favorite, Space Harrier, the 32X version, which is more or less arcade perfect. It's about as close as I need it to be.
Hmm.
That
You're
is
probably the only one who's played it.
that is my fucking favorite. Like, that is one of my favorite Sega things ever. Even though actually I was introduced to the Game Gear version, which, by the way, if you said you have a Game Gear, Anubis.
I do. It's somewhere.
Okay, you need to track down the Space Harrier on the Game Gear. Even though it's not nowhere near the arcade version. And in fact, it redrew sprites from the Sega Master System. I don't care. That shit was nostalgic as fuck to me. I have such fond memories of that.
I'll have to see
when
if the
I was like
store
10.
has it. I think they might.
When I was 10, 11. Yeah, it's a good learning curve game where it's difficult, but it's not too difficult. You get a little bit better, but you just need to really practice. And it's not so much with the Game Gear or Sega Master, because it's slow, much slower. But like the one I'm playing now, it's a very fast game, but it's surprisingly not at the level. Like, it's fast, but it's like you learn how to dodge things.
It's fast, but it's manageable.
Yeah, it's not like some fucking
like
shooters where I just die so early because I have such a atrocious reaction time with some of those games.
Yeah, it's kind of like a game I picked up and been playing recently called Ultimedius Excellent.
I've heard that. Actually, know what the thing about Space Harrier that makes it simple to play is you don't have to really worry about, okay, I have to get this power up and I have to know what this power up does. And if I lose this power up, I'm fucked. There's nothing. There's no power ups. There's nothing. You're one fire and that's it. One button fire. And that's about it. And you just gotta. Yeah. The only thing you have to know is some of the objects are like not shootable. They're like invincible. And you have to.
Right. They're just obstacles.
Yeah. You just have to know what's an obstacle and what's it. But other than that, it's surprisingly, like I said, it's surprisingly not. It's
frustrating.
It's
not like Silver Surfer.
Oh, that's just nasty. That's just.
Yeah, I mean that was just made to piss people off.
Well, Space Harrier's it's I don't know. First off, it's a rail shooter, and it's the sort of it wouldn't be considered 3D today, but it was considered 3D back then because it was like a scaling thing that Sega had, where you had the sprite and would scale closer and closer to
perspective. Yeah.
Also, I love the tile ground. I that's another nostalgic thing. Is like the ground is just a tile.
Right.
Yeah. Also, I love the fact that the one of the recurring enemies is just the Dom from Gundam. With 3 eyes, and it moves exactly like the Dom, and it does the jet stream attack, and also the Valkyries from Macross are in the game too. And in the version, Sega Master System had 2 versions. They had the radio one, and then they had the 3D version, which was like a different game, because they had 3D glasses for that system.
Right.
And one of the enemies in that one is Star Wars TIE Fighters.
Naturally.
Yeah. That's one thing I love about old games is just like they didn't really bother to like be too. They just take this thing.
They shamelessly rip the shit off.
This thing's cool. Let's put it in the game.
Yeah, and nobody cared. Nobody fucking cares. It's how we take this thing and put it in, and call it an homage or whatever, or just
now we call that sampling.
Yeah. Well,
Bad
what is
joke.
it? Now we have just games that cost as much as Hollywood blockbuster movies.
Yeah. Which is not necessarily a bad thing.
On the flip side, on the flip side. Sorry.
I feel like it you know, it's just there's so much budget that needs, and those games have to sell.
Yeah, and some of those games are really good.
Well, the
I love
bigger, the
Halo
more
Reach.
complex, the more things can go wrong, which is why you always hear about.
Yeah, but some of those games are still really good, like Halo Reach.
I'm actually liking at least the way it looks. Surprisingly, I kind of like the way Destiny looks, which
I
is
don't
like,
have any interest in Destiny whatsoever.
Well, the alternative is we can all get our braids and gone homes.
No, no. Yeah, considering the alternative, rather go with Destiny.
Mission failed.
In any case, coming up on the break, keep it right here on NTR Radio.
Anubis makes Fez 3. Anubis
You
makes
made Fizz 3?
What happened to 2?
he canceled it.
Well, I know that. So why would there be a 3?
Just because. Dude, there's a columns, right? There's
Yeah.
columns. There was never a columns 2, or at least not that I know of, on a console. There's a columns 3.
You might want to check and make sure there wasn't like a PC number 2 or something like that, because there's been a couple situations where that kind of thing has happened before.
I'll be right back. I need
Music?
In a second.
Flying battery zone.
I actually need to get
Chemical
the
plant.
Sonic, the Sonic 1, 2, 3 soundtracks on here. For some reason, I don't have those.
Slacker.
We'll do Sonic 3D Blast.
Very Weather Channel-ish.
A friend of mine thinks the Genesis version of the 3D Blast soundtrack is better than the Saturn version. I'm like, dude.
What are you smoking?
Like seriously, I'll give him the Puppet Panic Zone, but every single other track on the 3D Blast version is infinitely better.
This isn't the same person who asked if it was the censored version, was it?
No, it's not.
Just curious.
No, I generally speaking agree with this person 99% of the time. This is like the only thing we disagree on. Like both of us are the only people on the planet who like Sonic R as a video game.
Hey, I like Gundam Seed. I understand the need to defend stuff. So, and trust me, I am definitely.
I don't think I need to defend it. It's not a very good game, but I still like it.
Oh, okay. Well, let me put it this way: I am one of his champions. Okay.
There you go.
And those are
what
big.
I am a champion of is Sonic 3D Blast for the Sega Saturn. Specifically the Sega Saturn zone, because it has the... I don't know if it's the best, but it's definitely one of the best special stages in the entire Sonic game series. Basically the Sonic 2 special stage, but in full 3D with polygons and shit.
Neato. Oh, well.
It's so nice.
Speaking of Sonic, we actually learned an interesting fact while we were gone.
Uh-oh.
Okay. No. I actually didn't know this, but Sonic Spinball, kind of one of our punching bags
The
on
back
here,
one.
actually was put on a portable.
Why?
Like, who thought that was a good idea?
You know what this bad game needs? It needs to be
A
gimped
worse version.
so we can put it on a portable. We need to cut this already bad game, make it worse, so we can put it on a less capable system.
That sounds like a good green light it.
Do it.
Yeah.
That game was so dumb. There was
It
no
really
reason
was.
for that game to exist.
I probably understand where it came from in the like pitching stage.
Oh, I can fully understand. I can visualize
What they were
board
trying to
meeting
do?
that happened. Hey, let's take Spring Yard and Casino Night and Carnival Night. Let's take those and make a game out of them. And everyone around nod their heads, say yeah, let's do that. And then made Spinball, and it was really bad. Turns out, when you take a game mechanic and try to make an entire game out of it, sometimes it doesn't work.
Right. Though I will say
Well,
if
not so much a game mechanic, but a level design mechanic.
right. Well,
I apologize for that. I apologize for taking longer than.
and it's not a big deal. Music's still rolling.
Yep.
So yeah, since you mentioned like a mechanic or a design like that, there is one thing they could have done that probably actually would have been really popular, and that's if you ever played Final Fantasy VIII, the Triple Triad game.
Oh yeah.
They could have done that. I guarantee that would have been kind of a thing.
They probably should have. I didn't like that game very much.
Yeah, it was not one of the better Final Fantasy games.
I played. My cousin had it, and I tried a little bit of it.
I really just have always hated that junction system. I don't like it.
It's bad. It's a
like
bad
so-
game mechanic.
I like Selfie's character design.
Yeah, well, that's just it, though.
I like Kiss-Tiz's character design, and that's like it. That's
Yeah, well, you
the
just
only
like it.
good thing about.
I want to know
About
how
that
did
game.
those gun swords work?
Dude,
Well, you take
like,
a gun. Okay. So you take a gun, and right here you just put a big sword. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're asking about.
Tell me if that's not the most like puny design.
Well, hey, the Temjin did it in Virtual on. When did Final Fantasy VIII come out? 98.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
somewhere
3
around
years
there.
before. So Temjin did it first. Just
Well,
like
here's
people going all crazy about Keyblades, but it was done in Clockwork Knight for the Saturn,
Actually-
like years
Actually,
before.
okay, Gundam F91 had the Shot Lancer.
Well, no. Here's the thing you're missing, though. You know, it's Final Fantasy. The previous game had swords bigger than the people wielding them. Come on.
I don't know. That game was just bad. Wasn't feeling it.
You know, I just didn't like the mechanics of it. Some people do. Good for them. You
I'm
know,
not one of them.
it's definitely on the low tier of Final Fantasy games.
But they cut the bull crap with 9. And
Yeah. Well,
turns
that's
out
because
that
they
was
went
wicked.
back to the roots,
Yeah.
and they got shit for that too. You know, it's like, oh, you're just rehashing. It's like, dude,
Well,
you were the same person
Hey,
fucking bitching.
you were freaking number 1. You were complaining before. Number 2, don't
can't win with
fix
these
what ain't
people.
broke.
Can't win.
That's like what was I saying before? You can't win if you do it, and you can't lose if you do it.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Wonderful paradox.
Shit, I totally forgot I was gonna. Was it Gundam or?
Anyway, we ready for the second segment?
Yeah.
Bring it.
In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to NTR Radio. So here's something.
Actually,
I wanna
before we
kinda
start, I just want to say, come back, Sega. I miss you.
Listen, if Sega came back, everything in gaming would be fixed. Just straight up.
I miss you. I had the Game Gear, I had the Genesis. I almost.
Well, they're not
bought-
technically gone. They're just doing software
they're
now.
just-
I
not
know,
making-
but I miss him as a console maker, as a leader. I mean, it's cool to
Yeah.
have both Mario and Sonic games. You don't have to choose one or the other, but
I wouldn't choose that one or the other either, because I didn't like Mario. And I'm also bad at Mario games,
I
inexplicably.
gotta be honest. There's only really 2 Mario games that I really liked, and the others never really resonated with me. and that is the original Super Mario and Super Mario World.
The only ones that I was interested in at all ever were Mario 64 and Mario Kart 64.
I never got into.
You guys suck.
I tried.
I'm sorry, it's great.
I was never super big into 3, even though I know that was like a whole generation. You know what I mean?
I'd play it
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
bad at it.
dude. Yeah, because I bought it when it first came out.
And 2. I mean, it has its weird charm because it's not meant to be a Mario game at all.
I hate it. I hate it.
I'm bad at that one too.
I tried Mario Kart once. I never got into that.
Mario Kart pumps me out. Like, I'm not good at it, but I'm not good at 64 either. Let's be real. But those are the 2 games I'm most interested in.
Well, Anubis, we know why you're not good at 64. It's because you're playing with that fucking atrocity of a controller.
Actually, no. I emulate it and play it with a proper PlayStation 2 controller.
Oh, okay. Okay,
saying-
then you're just bad at it.
Yeah, I'm legit. When I say I'm bad at a Mario game, believe me, because I am bad at a Mario game.
Sonic
Anyway.
games just have an easier learning curve. But
Sonic
yeah,
games are just, they're easy to learn.
You know, fortunately, not every game is Battletoads.
or
Anyway.
Abidox.
So
Another fucking
this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a bit, and so I guess jumping into the main topic here, we're talking about how to stay positive about anime, how to be positive about anime.
How to
There's
stay
a lot of
enthusiastic.
negativity out there.
How to stay enthusiastic about anime.
Yeah,
It doesn't really sound like it should. It doesn't actually sound like something you should need a manual for.
no, that's the reason why I'm saying it's like
About anime.
why there's a whole lot of negativity out there, and so part of it is realizing why there's so much negativity out there, and part of it is understanding how to kind of overcome that and how to adopt a more positive mindset about this stuff.
So we're going to teach you strength through adversity.
Yeah.
Stomp your feet, everybody.
Like anime used to be about stories and
No, it
and
didn't.
and
Shut up,
deep
Ian.
twisted characters
It was.
and the world.
Stop that voice.
Rose tinted
and
glasses.
Seriously, you're hurting my ears.
But yeah, so
And excuse me while I watch Girlfriend Beta. You
yeah,
know?
exactly.
Yeah.
But no, so and this is actually because I had plans for what I was gonna say, and they all got kind of scrapped this morning because this morning I was contacted by a member of the former Moe Coalition. You guys remember that?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. I remember because that was a shitstorm.
Yeah. And we got to talking about like how back during when we had the Moe Coalition, we had a pretty good community going there. And it was all based off of, hey, we all like this stuff. Let's all share how much we like it.
Which, by the way, I like how Toy Box DX made fun of that.
Everyone made fun of that. And that's the problem. Everyone looked at that as like, oh, look at those idiots over there talking about Moe all the time. That's the
Look at
that's
those
the issue.
nerds. I'm gonna go back to my toy forum.
Yeah, exactly.
At least I'm better than those nerds.
I mean, and I guess that's the first point. A lot of
Nerd hierarchy is real, folks.
well, it's like a lot of the people in the anime community just take themselves way too seriously.
Well, see, they would turn around and say, "Oh, you take the Moe shows way too seriously."
Well, no, we don't.
No,
That's the
we
thing.
don't.
Why do you think we laugh at that shit?
We don't. We don't take ourselves as seriously as they do.
They're
Sitting here
inserting
wearing a
themselves
plate
into these.
carrier
Come
on
on,
an
they're inserting
anime
this.
podcast.
They're inserting themselves into these fucking shows.
No. Oh yeah.
Well, it's funny. I can't self-insert because it's in high school and
Well, that's what I'm saying. Who actually does that, though?
Yeah, who does? No one does that.
Actually, okay. I was reading on 4chan. Someone was complaining about, I can't self-insert in girlfriend beta because there's no male character.
Yeah, to me that's retarded.
Here's where you started with. I was reading on 4chan. It's from 4chan. Listen, 4chan. Let's be real. It's 4chan. But that's what I'm saying. Is like a lot of people take themselves way too seriously about this stuff. We're all watching cartoons.
Seriously,
we're all
at
in
what
this
point?
fandom about, hey, let's get together and watch cartoons. Literally, that's what we're doing.
I'm gonna throw you out of this club because you wanted to watch Toradora because they want.
Yeah,
right?
That's an example of an individual who takes himself way too seriously. Way too seriously.
I would just laugh if somebody told me that. It would just
like
be like,
fucking
I'd be like, you're gonna
dude.
throw me out, or are you gonna physically move me?
Actually, I would be
want to
like,
watch.
I don't have to take this. I'm going home.
No, I'm serious.
No,
though.
fuck that. I'd cause a stink about it. Who what is so like high and mighty about you that you get to throw you're gonna throw me out because I don't want to watch the
Plus,
anime you want to watch? That's ridiculous.
This is a person that thinks Redline is good anime.
And independent of that, that's fine. If you think Redline's good, more power to you. I don't agree with you, and if you want, we can talk about that. But if you think Redline's the greatest thing ever, that's fine. I don't give a damn. Literally don't give a damn if you think Redline's great. It's fine. When it gets to a problem is when people start to look down on one another, look down on other people because of their opinions on various anime, and that's a huge problem.
That's why so many people get, jade is just so many people don't want to deal with, the bullying of another person, the another person's dislike of what they're into.
I would say part of the problem is definitely a need to grow thicker skin. I mean, there definitely is.
On both sides, not just.
No, I mean, I just mean in general.
Certainly, but at the same time, there's a need. Certain segments of the fandom see a need to berate and belittle other people based on their preferences, and I'm not on board with that, and I'm never going to be on board with that. That's ridiculous. It doesn't need to be happening.
It just strikes me as like...
You're watching fucking cartoons. Let's be real. You're not good. So, and people talk about
exactly. You're watching.
Yeah, your shit tastes. Listen, guy, you it doesn't matter if you like Flowers of Evil or Redline or Strike Witches or Code Geass or fucking Sakura Wars.
And you guys love Code Geass, but I don't hold that against.
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if you like Cowboy Bebop or Redline or was that Under the Dog? Is that one for Kickstarter, right?
I
don't know.
Yeah.
I have completely.
But it doesn't matter what you like. You're watching fucking cartoons. Let's be real about it. You're in there watching something animated. Everyone else thinks you're a nerd.
Sorry. I hate to give you that reality check.
I'm sorry, but we need to be genuine.
But at least I got a girlfriend.
You're a nerd.
At least I got a girlfriend, so I'm
plenty
better.
nerds have girlfriends.
Cool for them.
That's cool in the game.
Good for you. I don't fucking care. How much do you know about your anime? How much do you know about your anime? You
know what? In that, I think that brings me to my second point. I'm at a point now where I value positivity more than knowledgeability. Like, if I encounter someone, I will hold them in higher esteem if they are enthusiastic.
Yeah, I
sooner
think
than I will hold them in higher
value.
esteem if they are knowledgeable. Because there are plenty of knowledgeable people out there who are overwhelmingly negative.
I value the highly enthusiastic rather than the. But the problem is
because knowledge can be taught. I can talk about all this stuff and people can learn from that. But when you come in with an attitude of a highly positive attitude or a highly negative attitude, that's much harder to change.
Also, but the thing is, the opposite. The problem is the opposite is what gets valued, which is, oh look, I'm the jaded cynic. Look how worldly I am and all that shit. And it's like
most of the time they're not.
Most of the time they're not, but the perception is that way because we view cynicism as an element of.
I don't.
An element of.
Oh, I know.
Societally speaking,
yeah.
Cynicism is viewed as an element of knowledge and experience,
which is a totally Western, American thing, and that's a problem that I specifically find is that type of mentality is valued, and it's poison for the fandom. It's not helpful.
It's actively toxic.
Yeah, you gotta treat it as if it's a radioactive substance.
Well, at the end of the day, here's the thing with that. At the end of the day, that is a problem predominantly here. I mean,
I just said it. It's a Western thing. It's not.
That's what I'm saying. And here's the thing about that. Let's be real here. It's made over there, and it's informed by over there.
Of course. The problem is, what are we here? Oh, this shows a cynical production, you know? And I'm like, how do you know that?
If I were you, just a little advice. If I were you, I'd just stop hanging around people who say dumb shit like that.
Well, here's the thing. When we're talking about the cynicism being valued as experience, that's just an element of the culture. It doesn't matter where show XYZ is made. As soon as when it comes over here, we're gonna look at it through our perspective because it's a different culture. The when it gets to a problem is when we can't look at something from a different culture outside, like we can't step back from that. That's the problem. Zeke Freak Real-Time Interaction says it's an EU thing as well.
That doesn't surprise me.
Not surprising at all.
Yeah, I imagine that, you know.
But here's the thing, though. I wouldn't even say that. It seems to be more a British thing.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say it now. Fuck the British fandom and all that shit because what happened just recently? Someone got arrested for having lolicon. So...
Yeah, but it was always illegal there.
Yeah, to be fair, that's not a British fandom thing. That's a British law and British government thing. But no, and K-Gods brought up a good point. One thing that we need to stop doing so much of is focusing so much on these people who say these dumb things.
Leave them behind.
Why do we... Yeah, exactly.
No, but it
fandom's going somewhere, and they can get on board, or they can get on board, or they can go.
True, but it's also important to know that attitude exists, and
absolutely. But we don't need to focus.
But you don't need to acknowledge it.
We don't need to focus on it as much as we do. Here's my thing. A lot of when we talk about this person said this person said that, it's talking more about the person. I'm interested in when we can extrapolate and extract an idea from what they're saying and talk about that idea. But a lot of the times it's just talking about the person themselves.
Right.
And to be fair, I'm not interested in doing that anymore. I used to be, but I don't have time for that anymore.
Yeah.
Take this for example. When I put up the article, the second part of on anime criticism, and I kind of called out Zach Birchie on some stuff. Zach was under the impression that I was talking about him. That's not the case. I was talking about what he said and the ideas that he was putting forward through what he was saying. But it was easily misconstrued as me talking about him, and I'll cop to that. That the way I expressed it could have been easily construed as me talking about the person and not their idea. But I was talking about their idea. Rarely do I talk about specific people because they're specific people. It's always this person said something that puts forward an idea that I want to talk about. When I did that post about it's weird looking at the screen because I point and I'm not pointing at the camera, but I'm pointing at the screen. But when I did that post about Americentrism,
right.
I wasn't talking about the dude. I could care less who that dude is. I don't give a damn who he is. I don't even know what his screen name is.
Some fucking guy on the internet.
some dude on a podcast. But it was about the idea that he was putting forward. It was about the kind of, Japan needs to start making shows for us because we have a bigger population. That's the idea he was putting forward, and I wanted to kind of call out and said, that's really dumb. Here's why it's really dumb. I don't care about the dude. I couldn't possibly care less who he is or what he does. I'm talking about the idea. That's what we need to start doing a lot more of, instead of talking about, this person said this. Isn't that really dumb? Yeah, that's really dumb. Because that's where that conversation ends.
Pretty much. But since you brought up that, kind of bringing that back into the limelight, as it were.
Yeah.
What's funny about that is we all laughed and said, wow, that's completely stupid on a couple levels. I mean, one, because there's bigger populations than ours.
Yeah.
so if anything, they'd be making them for them. And two, the other thing that was funny, and it wasn't funny until later, is that a parody site out there actually made fun of that mentality.
Right.
About video games. Actually referring to, why do they gotta have all this Japanese in them? Obviously being Japanese games. It's just really funny. Because it's showing how ludicrous that sounds.
Also, personally, I don't have time to deal with people who think that there's nothing good out now. If that you feel like that, that's fine. But personally, I'm loving what's out now. There's so much variety, really. So many good things. Even Gundam is good again. Gundam is actually.
And that brings me into my next point. You guys are really good at just rolling me into these points because I forgot all of them earlier. So that brings me into my next point. Is I think it would be valuable if the anime fandom at large would focus less or stop focusing as much on what's out right now.
I kind of agree. Yes, it's good to be, I understand that, wanting to be on the same level as what's in, as the Japanese fandom. I understand that, and I'm kind of,
I don't even understand that. I don't. For so long, we have been so far behind with what's coming out in Japan. What value? Real talk. What value have we gotten out of being so current with Japan? What real tangible value have we gotten out of that?
Well,
bad memes.
Well, personally for me, it's I could get into this thing, and if there's merchandise, I could get it. Otherwise, I missed the boat on said merchandise if I get into it too late.
Okay, merchandise I'll give you.
But he's not really talking about that. He's talking about more conceptually. What are we missing?
Conceptually, what do we get out of that? Because the discussion isn't any better. not better.
I disagree because I go on 4chan, and I like
that
the
one?
Yeah,
again.
where 1 in every 20 discussions is worthwhile.
um
You
to
get
you.
a 1,000 thread post. You get, and it's you
Well,
get
I
maybe
start my
75 good posts, and then like 925 shit posts.
Yeah, but then
Let's be real.
I
It's
don't see
4chan.
what I want. If I don't see what I want to see. All right, here's another thing. Outside of that, I like to watch things that give me good fodder for fan art. All right.
You can do that with any show. Any show from
old,
any
yeah,
era.
that's true. But I don't know. I like to, for some things I like to watch as it's I can't explain it. I like to watch it.
Well, no, certainly, and that's cool in the gang, but there's no
really Anubis.
there's no tangible, real value to having to watching a show as it comes out. Not as far as I'm concerned. I see like it in.
I like the idea of that I'm into something at the same time, that I'm hyped about something at the same exact time.
That's not really tangible. That's what he's saying.
That's not real though.
All right,
That's
tangible.
that's not a
It's
real
not physical.
value.
It's not,
That's not I've gained a further understanding about X, Y, or Z because of this. Because all the good discussion about all this stuff happens long after the show's been done and gone.
Yeah, but sometimes people forget things too, and it's.
If it got forgotten, then what value was it in the first place?
Well, most people don't know about Canon Memo, but I keep it up.
But you know about Canon Memo, don't you?
Yes.
So then, what's the problem?
I know about Kanagi still.
You know about Kanagi still.
He's trying to point out.
I still know about Two Heart. I still know
trying.
about Nadesco and all that.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think what you're trying to get at is.
Yeah, I'm having trouble trying to.
No, okay.
Yeah, okay, guys, go ahead.
I think if I'm getting this right, and totally smack me in the head if I'm not.
Dropping ready.
Oh yeah, pressure. Yeah, exactly. Well, I think what he's trying to say, kind of in layman's terms, is it's important to you, so you haven't forgotten it.
Exactly.
And in the end of the day, isn't that really all that matters? Because like, unless you have a pathological need to share everything you like with other people,
and if you do, then do it.
But don't be surprised if they don't care.
But no, it's not even don't be surprised if they don't care. If you think Kanamemo is a valuable show, then you should share it with people, because people have forgotten it. That's my thing. There is so much stuff. The set of all anime is so vast.
It's wall-to-wall stuff.
We are blinding ourselves, focusing so much on what's out here right now. There's so much out there. There's stuff out there that's from the late 90s I still want to watch, I haven't watched yet.
That's another thing.
A ton of stuff. There's no reason we need to focus so much on what's out right now. No reason.
People are like, oh, there's nothing good this season. Anime is crap. And I'm like...
Go back in time, watch some stuff.
Here's the other thing.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing about that. These people are clearly noobs, and the reason I say that is because they didn't live in a time when they didn't have little charts that they could see everything that was coming on every season to even make a judgment like that.
Every single one of us has not only the vast majority of everything that's coming out each season at our disposal.
We know what it's about. We have pictures.
We have pictures, we have synopsis, all that, but we have the backlog entirety of all anime at our disposal. Why are we not using that resource more? Why are we focusing so much on, okay, this stuff's out right now, let me watch this show, this show, this show, this show, this show, and if there's nothing I want to see during a particular season, then that season's crap, and I'm gonna be pissed about that. When I have the earlier 2010s, the 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, all this shows that I can go back and watch at my leisure, and I'm pissed because the new season's not as good as I thought it would be. That's ridiculous.
Not only is new stuff getting released, old stuff is coming out.
We're about to get all of Gundam. All of it.
Yep.
It's coming out.
Finally.
Watch 0079 again. It's great.
Oh yeah, it's always fun to watch.
Sign me up for when they put out. I would so get a Blu-ray release for F91. And even Shaw's Counterattack probably. Yeah. Or actually, a lot of the OVAs are great. Would look great in Blu-ray quality because.
Notice, we're all talking about stuff we've seen before now.
We always do.
When I don't particularly want to watch something that's airing right now, I'll go back and watch something that I've seen before and enjoyed. I'm about to start rewatching Two Heart because I love Two Heart.
I need to see. I saw one episode. I need to see Two Heart.
It's so good. Like just tangent on Two. It's just so good. Like I love the opening. For, like that's one of the few opening songs that I'll just listen to over and over.
What I was watching the other day. Well, sometimes your tastes do change with because I was rewatching. I was rewatching the Fist of North Star movie, and I still enjoy that movie, even though I'm not really into Fist of North Star. But then after that, I was watching the OVA Birth, which granted was one of the earliest OVAs, and it was kind of like it's an animation showcase. There's no character, there's no real plot, and I could see that now. If you're someone that's into anime for character and plot, you're not going to get anything out of it. It's an animation showcase only.
Well, since you mentioned we're talking about older stuff, and that's the other thing. Here's how kind of the landscape looks, and I'm sure this is with everybody, and obviously what you would put into what category differs from person to person, but you always remember the really good stuff and the really bad stuff.
Yeah, certainly.
Like the stuff in the middle is the stuff that you might make a passing reference.
Well, good and bad is relative to. I mean, because
that's what I just said.
But that's the landscape for each and every individual.
Every individual.
Yeah.
Has that. Everything really good, of course, stands out, but everything really bad does too.
Yeah.
But the stuff in the middle, the stuff that's just kind of there, there's a reason for that. It doesn't stand out. It's just kind of there.
That's like the show I watched, Jude-chan. I barely remember anything that I saw from it. I
don't remember most of Magikano.
Or there's some other ones that I've completely blanked on because it's including a whole bunch of stuff that I used when I used to buy the really cheap CPM stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When
I was just they gotta get it up, CPM release, and right. Some of that stuff turned out to be fucking awesome. Some of that stuff to be I don't remember anything about Strange Love or the thing Wild Cards but I certainly remember Project Fairmire.
There we go.
I love that OVA. Ixer 1.
Yes.
I actually downloaded a Baka BT had a version that was a movie compilation. And I want to see that because I want to see what was, there's a few differences. And to be fair, that's one of those things that's one of those OVAs that's practically can work as a movie because it's all one story.
Right.
It's all one continuous story, just broken up. And there's a bunch of there's this stuff that, I love the first Project Echo, the rest of the sequels.
It's so good.
Yeah, I've got that as well.
I love the first Golf Force. The sequels aren't really memorable. I like the first one and the fourth one. If you ever, the other ones, Megazone 2-3. I love Part 1. And I'm gonna defend Part 2. I love Part 2. Part 3 is another one of those things. I don't remember anything. I remember mecha fighting and a shower scene, and that's it. I've probably seen it like 3 times.
Yeah.
I've probably seen it like a few times, you know. And I literally, it's one of the things that my mind just blanks out.
But notice what we're talking about. Zero Mire, Ixer 1, Project A-ko. It's all old stuff that we've watched countless times before. But
it's also like the video games too. Isn't it great to play?
It's the same thing, and that brings me to my next topic. Y'all are great. Are the greatest co-hosts ever.
I love playing games I already played.
And here's the thing. Why do we have such a problem with focusing so much on what's out right now, and gaming doesn't have that?
I will say we have kind of, and I say we, I don't mean like us specifically.
We, the greater anime fan.
Yeah, have kind of cultivated a strike while the iron's hot kind of thing going on, to where
certainly, and I see no reason for that.
Well, to be fair, it used to be kind of a genuine, proper model at one point, you know. And I would say probably for the OVA market more than anything else.
Oh, absolutely. But now,
but I understand.
there's
But
no need for it.
exactly, there are more anime being produced per season now than in some whole years. I mean, holy
Exactly.
shit. Now you can argue that, well, a lot of it's crap. Well, and someone will unquestionably decide to pull out everyone's favorite law.
But one thing is, it depends on what your criteria is for something being crap.
Yes, it
And
does.
two is that if it's so much of it is coming out, and so much is coming out that there's really something for everyone. And if there's not anything for you, there's something for you back in the day.
Yeah, that's another thing. There's so much more variety, believe it or not. Despite what some people would say about, like, oh, it's all this moes, you know, it's all girl and hair.
No. See, what they're missing there is they're just complaining that's what's popular.
Exactly. They don't want that to be popular, and
The tough fucking
I'm
shit.
not sorry.
The market goes where it goes. I mean,
Yep.
I mean, you know, you don't really get to dictate that.
Yeah.
At least not in that way.
Right. And that sort of tangentially brings me into my next point. The part of why there's so much negativity is because the anime community, as it is balkanized would be the term I use for it. Because it's not this big overarching thing. It's really it's a number of subgroups all underneath this anime community banner. If that makes any sense.
I understand what you're getting at. It's certainly not unified.
No.
No, well, it obviously, because there's all different generations and
Well, what I mean by
Not
even
just generations, but
even on a basic level, it's not.
yeah, even on a basic, just preferential level. It's why, like, few of us saw this like hashtag educate anime pop up.
I was actually going to mention something about that because I saw it. I didn't really know what the fuck was going on with that, but
So it was supposed to be this thing where, okay, it's based, the whole premise is.
oh, I
okay,
thought
let's
you started
encourage-
that.
No, I did not start that. The whole premise was, let's encourage discussion and discourage blind hatred.
and of course the reaction to that was no, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah. You're like, the thing about it is, that's something that could have gone further than it did if the anime community was more unified.
Like all you got to do is realize just how people snapped and got pissed about that. Like
Yeah.
that
People were
blows my
mad.
mind. That blows my mind. It's like, you're mad about that. Why?
Like,
What is the
what is
worst
there to
thing?
be mad about?
No, I want to be the cynic. I want to be the sour cynic.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess we know the answer to who pissed in your cornflakes.
Yeah, like I guess your thing
I
is
thought it was
like you
pissed in your
just
shirt.
want to
Or
be
did
mad
somebody
about
piss in your
things.
cornflakes, I should say.
It's pissed in your Cheerios, I think is the term, but yeah.
I like cornflakes.
Mm.
But it's like, what is there to be mad about this? And that's
Yeah,
What I'm
I don't
saying,
really get
That
it.
doesn't make what I want.
like
That doesn't make what I want.
that's not even it. Is they're mad about people saying, you know what, I prefer discussion and would not prefer to be yelled at because I like the wrong anime, and people were mad about that. And I can only assume it's because they have this. They're desperate to be these a-holes in the community, talking
God,
about,
okay.
hey, you like Sword Art Online, you must be an awful person.
Wow. Off topic here. I've just found out what I don't need in my life. Well, this is one thing.
Aragaki figure.
It's a figure of Dennis Rodman. Yeah.
Hey, we know who has one.
North Korean dictator.
North Korea.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Well, no, okay, so Zeke Freak in
It's got
Twitter
fucking
is saying,
pores. It's got fucking pores in it. Detailed like pores.
yeah. But so Zeke Freak in
Real
Twitter saying the problem is that #EducateAnime just didn't catch on. I don't know if we didn't spread it hard enough or people are just dumb. I think the issue is just it's endemic to the climate of the anime community right now. The fact that
happening, like in
the fact that people came out here and said, okay, let's start a thing where we're going to promote discussion and discourage blind hatred. And people were legitimately not on board with that. I don't know if they just misunderstood or if that something else went on, but there is a segment of people who are basically just over the border opposed to this idea. That's just the nature of the anime community right now.
It was incredibly hostile. It was like it's almost like, if I may, I don't know. I mean, I saw a couple things. I wasn't really part of this at all because of reasons, but it had nothing to do with like like I disagree with it or anything like that.
Right.
I've been busy, and I'll explain a little of that later. But no. I mean, it's almost like. I mean, I know I'm putting words in somebody's mouth here, but it's almost like, it's almost like somebody's like, hey, people are putting this idea out there that, you know, if people were to follow through with it, it means I can't be an asshole without being called on it.
I guess that's the only thing I'm left to go back to, is that some people just want to be complete jackasses about this stuff, and I'm not on board with that. I don't think anyone should be on board with that.
Which is cool, but is generally considered to be unpleasant.
If you're on board with that, I'm probably not on board with you.
There you go. You know.
Hashtag.
So dock your boat elsewhere.
Which I love.
But it's like, and then we get into like the people who just want to be a-holes about this stuff, and how are they?
Cody Buyer.
He's just a joke. He's a clown. Red nose, rainbow hair, big shoes. He's a clown.
Oh, excuse me.
But
wow.
How?
Sorry.
And that's the thing. How have we let these people start to influence stuff so much that they do? Because we've seen how high up some of these people are in the fandom.
Right. Fortunately, or depending on how you look at it, they try to create what that trickle down effect, and it doesn't actually work, really. The only people who think like that are the people that are usually working with them in some capacity or something like that.
So I wanted to say, like, I'm not a part of the whole Gamergate discussion, and I'm glad
that actually ties into this pretty well.
But yeah. Interesting enough, like how what people want is just talk about the games, not the social, political,
And the same thing is happening. The same thing exactly is happening. The response is incredibly hostile and fucking ludicrous.
Exactly.
Talk about talk about, is the anime good? Don't talk about.
Where else would Anubis be compared to a KKK member?
Yeah.
Those are people that do not know that you're black.
No, they don't, and that's
they don't,
funny.
and they don't care.
Oh, and they would ask you to prove that you are. That's the thing. Like, I've seen people like, I just think you're a white guy sock puppet. And then they post pictures of themselves holding a sign like saying "not a sock puppet" or something like that, and then they either block them or just shut up for a second. Come on.
It's like fucking it's like
you're gonna pull off your mask, Anubis, and you're a white guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
he's wearing blackface.
Like this. Yeah, it's dumb.
It's stupid. He really, and I've seen this a bunch of times. To the point where it's like, you can't be serious, and then they post a picture, and then they either block them or they say they're stupid.
Yeah.
And then what is it? Like, the time all you were saying was about, talking about Loli or something, and what happens? Immediately you get called, oh, I bet you wait outside the elementary school, or wait outside, and it's like, one thing to another. That
same deflection too. It was just a joke when they get called on it.
Exactly.
These people all have the same type of behavior.
Hey, listen. I live across the street from not one but two elementary schools. All right.
He spots them out of his periscope.
I live like one block from like two elementary schools. All right.
But yeah, there's just a group of these people who are committed to not being decent about any of this.
And here's the thing: the fact that they have the connections they do, and I don't mean necessarily with higher up like advertisers and things like that. I don't necessarily even mean that. I mean just the connections between each other.
It
just reinforces it.
Funimation, Sentai, they don't care about that.
No. I'm not talking about any of that.
That's what he's saying. Funimation and Sentai don't care.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's the connection between. They reinforce this shit because they allow obviously they all believe in it or something similar.
Yeah, they're all on board with it.
So anytime somebody does something shitty, it's not shitty because they agree with it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So we leave these people behind.
Oh, but here, real-time conversation on 2chan. No, here's a type 1 trying to be a type, not a type, a tier 1 trying to be a tier 3.
Huh.
Can you recommend any good anime to see? Preferably with gore, horror, psychological, or something that makes you think. Thanks.
Not necessarily.
Well, no.
What makes you?
If that's the kind of show that guy wants, sure.
Maybe they like Hellsing and things like that,
Yeah. If that's the kind of show that guy wants to see, then
okay, give me something to recommend. Give me something to recommend. A troll.
I don't give a damn. What you recommend. But getting back to my point, we leave these people behind. If they want to do like the Morricola and just make fun of the people staying positive about it, yeah, fuck them.
Yeah,
just let them in their completely impotent buying power.
Yeah, I type kiss X this. There, I guess. There you go. That'll make you think. It'll make another part of your body think.
What, Boku no Pico? Yeah. I always want to say Ku.
I actually like that one.
That's the stock answer for any recommendation.
Well, of
yeah,
course.
which
Yeah,
doesn't work because I like that one.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This is a lot easier than we're making it. And another point I wanted to get at was, here's what a lot of us need to start doing. Because we all know it's a lot easier to articulate a negative opinion than it is a positive opinion. When I'm writing when I wrote the review for Flowers of Evil, the review for Redline, those were remarkably easy to write.
Actually, I think it's easier to state both a positive, something that you're either really into or something that you really hate, but it's in the middle.
Which goes exactly to my point, what I said earlier. You remember, and kind of through some kind of almost bizarre osmosis, kind of intake the best and the worst.
But no, forgetting about the middle. Completely forget about the middle.
That's why it's hard to write about it.
But no, forget about the middle. I'm talking very specifically about the difference between it being easy to articulate a negative opinion about something than it being to articulate a positive opinion about it. What I'm saying is, one thing we need to start doing is figuring out how to articulate what we like about things. Figuring out how to articulate positivity like that.
I also have a suggestion, but it might not be a popular one, but I am going to throw it out there anyway. Get some other interests, too.
Certainly. And that's one
like,
thing
if anime is your only interest, you will burn out.
That is my next point, but finishing off this is what I want everyone to start doing is, when you're watching a show and you're really enjoying it, introspectively ask yourself,
why?
Why am I enjoying this? What am I enjoying about this? And that's not like what am I enjoying about this? No, but what am I enjoying about this? What elements of this are making me smile right now?
And then that's how you determine what to find
out. Once you get in that mindset of being able to identify what you enjoy and being able to identify what you like about stuff and what elements of whatever media make for an enjoyable work of media for you. That's the next step in being able to say, okay, I liked X because the AC.
Right.
The issue is that when we watch something that we don't like, we zero in on the parts we don't like about it, and we're able to identify those really quickly, immediately. But it's a lot more difficult for something we enjoy. Because when we enjoy something, it's kind of like a whole body experience, right? You're just, okay, I'm enjoying this, but you're not zeroing in on the parts you enjoy. You just taking in the whole thing. You're saying, okay, this is good.
You focus more on the macro than the micro.
Precisely. When we dislike something, we start to nitpick at it. But when we enjoy something, it's the whole thing we enjoy. What I want people to start being able to do is saying, okay, I liked this, and this about it. I mean, okay, let's take Girls and Panzer. I thought that the combat was very visceral, very compelling. It was one of the best action anime in recent memory. It was able to get me up out of my seat. I thought the characters were really nice. I liked the characterization of the main team. I like all the personality quirks of all the various other teams.
And I could come in and debate you and say,
hang on, this isn't about debate though. I'm just articulating what I enjoyed about this stuff from my own perspective. And if you didn't enjoy, if there's elements you didn't enjoy, that's fine. But this is what I liked about it. I liked the combat. I liked the characters. I liked the entire premise and the world, and I liked the story. I thought the story was a real stand up and clap at the end sort of thing. I thought the world was very interesting. They really built up this world. They really built up all the carriers and all that. That's great.
By the way, have you seen?
I'm certain you can articulate what you like about Hidamari's sketch.
Oh, yes.
Hey guys, I'm certain you could articulate what you like about 0083.
A lot.
Exactly.
So
that it's
not to
it's
go
this
off.
sort of thing where it's the sort of thing where what everyone needs to be able to do is articulate what they like, because no, we can articulate what we don't like.
Would you say that would be kind of getting more personable? Because in a way, it seems like a lot of the reviews that do what you're talking about in terms of, like, you know, just kind of slandering something as being like a pile of crap or something like that. They tend to be just kind of more outwardly, you know, kind of cut and dried. These things are bad because this.
I love how.
Hey, hang on. And they assume that you think the same thing.
Yeah,
they're like these things are bad inherently.
Exactly. It's for criticism specifically. It's this need to step back, kind of step outside of yourself, and realize that this might be this person's perspective. This might be this other person's perspective. Go ahead, VZ.
I was gonna say, I love the fact that them anime reviews even bothered to do, just based on the first episode, a review for that cross on gay on.
Why did they do that?
And it where going back to
because the
other interest thing in a bit, but that's my next point, is to just stop watching shows we don't like.
Yeah, the concept of hate watching is really dumb.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Okay, here's the thing, all right? If you watch something and within like the first couple episodes it's just not doing it for you, there's no shame in dropping it. I don't understand.
No, just drop it.
Just drop it. You got shit to do. Better stuff to watch.
Yeah. Watch good stuff. Just watch the shows you like. There's no reason not to watch the shows you like.
Or find stuff that might, try something else. And if that doesn't, then try something else.
There's no reason to watch shows you don't like. No reason. Zeke in Twitter. In a review context, I think elaborating on positive aspects requires more spoilering, which is why they don't. And I guess I'd say that, if that's the case, do it.
Well, yeah, it's yeah. I mean,
I'm reading the review to figure out whether or not a work of media is worth my time. If you need to spoil a little bit of it to kind of tell me, okay, this thing's really good. This is what's good about it. And he continues, negativity can be expressed in vague terms. Positivity requires more specific explanation. And that's my thing. If you need to spoil a little bit of it to pump me up about it, then by all means go ahead and do it.
Spoilers, did something really cute.
Yeah, exactly.
Spoilers.
Don't you mean trigger warning?
But if you wanna, if your goal is to tell me this work of media is worth your time, then I don't mind being spoiled a little bit on it. Because I'm reading the work of media, the review anyway, so
right.
I already know
you're at
it's
least
going to
interested
contain
to that
details
level.
of it. Yeah, I'm at the very least interested to that level.
He's saying you can write these things.
On to,
I think yeah, you're saying you can write these things without saying, hey, Eris dies.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that.
You could
It
just say
doesn't have to be
something
the that
tragic
level,
happens.
but I don't. Yeah, but no, it doesn't need to be that's level of specifics. But I don't mind being spoiled a little bit if it's in service of the aspects of the show that I'm looking for. Going back to K-God's point about getting other interests, yeah, do
Seriously, you really need to do it. And I'll give you a personal story. I know a lot of people don't like personal anecdotes, and there's even a fallacy after that. But seriously, from personal experience, when I used to rent stuff when I was a young teenager, no.
When I was 17.
Yeah. Actually, younger than that, but no. Every weekend, I would go to the local place that had a 5-for-5 deal, and they had a huge anime section that got bigger every year.
Yeah.
Until, of course, it busted.
Naturally.
But that's how I saw like hundreds of things, and that's what I did. Every weekend, I would load up on 5 and watch them. But the thing was, I watched them on those weekends. I didn't watch them all throughout all week long. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I necessarily marathoned them, but you know what I mean? I didn't just watch anime all week. I did other shit, And in some ways, I think that helps you appreciate it more.
It really does, and it's not even that. It's not even that you need to have anime, or like you need to have anime, and you need to have something completely different. But it's like anime. Let's get into what I'm into. All the various stuff I'm feeling right now. I'm anime fan, certainly. Gamer, play a whole lot of video games. I build Gundam models. I count that as distinct from anime because it really is. Airsoft. Fucking. What else? Like
Vaulting.
Vaulting over fences. I mean, in all this stuff,
He's prepping for being chased by dogs.
I actually don't like dogs. It's like, but compounded with all the other stuff I do. I run She's Lost Control. I do this podcast. I'm running a business now. All this other stuff. It really makes me appreciate the time I can sit down and just watch some anime and have a good time with that. And that in going back to watching the stuff you like, it's like I don't have time to watch stuff I hate.
Yeah, I don't.
Why am I gonna sit down, relax, and watch something that's gonna make me mad?
Well, you do watch School Days.
That's mad for.
That's a different kind of mad.
That's a different kind of mad. That's the good mad. That's the mad where I'm mad at the people in the show and not the show. But it's having other hobbies definitely helps with letting you appreciate the shows that you are watching a bit more.
Okay, I'll go ahead and throw out some of mine since we're doing that. Everybody knows one of mine is music. I won't get into that, but that's definitely a different one. I like to read, and when I say I like to read, I don't mean I like to look at art books. I do that too, but that's not what I mean by reading. I actually mean historical texts or works of fiction. Like I don't know, I'll throw one out that everybody knows, like Lord of the Rings.
Right.
I don't want to throw out something there, but I don't have no idea what he's talking about. or even stuff that's non-fictional. I actually like a lot of that kind of stuff. Biographies. I read one on Oppenheimer at one point, or Nikola Tesla. But I also like ones that are not even biographies, but just about shit, like the CIA or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not even in reading, it's that's a lost art. It almost feels like when I say I read, people look at me like, you mean you're on the internet? I'm like, no.
No.
I mean, I'm sitting there with a bookmark. I'm a bookworm. Sorry. Well, I'm not, but I'm not sorry. But you know, and those are just a few things. I mean, I play video games. I watch documentaries. I like.
Oh, me too. I love documentaries.
Documentaries are balling. I love documentaries.
I wasn't joking when I said I like to go outside and look at the stars either. I genuinely do that. And since I've moved to this new place, I have like a crow's nest view.
There we
I can go out there and hang out there and just kind of really get a good look. And I like to watch fucking squirrels running around. It has no real purpose other than just enjoying looking at it.
You know, every time I see squirrels or birds outside, I always feel like wanting to feed them, but then Mom's like, no,
no, they'll come back. They will. They will.
I feel bad because I don't want them to, like, you know.
They'll be fine.
Trust me. If you've ever seen squirrels scatter hoarding, I've seen them steal each other's food. And that shit is funny, by the way. You'll be sitting there, one of them will bury, like, you know, some stuff, take off. Another one will be lurking from the, you know, trees or whatever, and then come down and fucking take it.
Mm.
But I live in a new area that's got a lot more forests and stuff, you know. Despite, you know, being even more urban.
Yeah, the next point I want to...
Oh, can I tell you what stuff I...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, well...
Be real, son!
Yeah, well, obviously, besides watching anime. Now, my thing is a lot of these things sort of tie in together, but at the same time, they're separate entities.
Well, it's like I said with building mecha models for me.
Yeah.
Certainly it ties into anime, but it's a separate hobby.
Yeah, toy collecting, you know, just looking up the toys. You know, but I watch, you know, I like documentaries. Weird that for live action, I prefer watching either documentaries or stuff. I know you're gonna get mad at me, but I actually like. He is a dick, but I like watching things like Dr. Phil and Steve Wilkos.
Yeah, you could not pay me to do that.
I just don't watch TV.
I also watch. You know, I like to do a lot of YouTube looking around for things. I'm into watching a lot of like old 80s cartoons and things, or you know, just some things that I remember, some things I don't remember.
Right.
Just like the other day I was actually watching an old Gargoyles episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I can one up you. The other day I was watching the first episode of the animated version of Toxic Crusaders.
Ooh, okay. Well, I can beat you still.
Uh-oh.
I watched 3 episodes of Darkwing Duck.
Yep.
That's cool.
There we go.
Mission successful.
Yeah.
That was low.
That's another thing I've been trying to find cool, like the 80s horror things, but not the ones that everybody knows. Not the you know, Friday 13th.
You mean like the kind of stuff like Maniac and whatnot?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but yeah, kind of the more schlocky, the more
Pumpkinhead.
well, stuff like as I mentioned, this guy said Toxic Crusaders, the Toxic Adventure.
Right.
I watched one called Terror Vision.
Right.
I saw one that I have not seen since I was like 8, and I only caught the little end of it when I was 8, and for years it disturbed the fuck out of me. It was called Deadly, and I had to find out what it was called. It was called Deadly Eyes, and the reason that disturbed me was because the way it ended was, it's about these rats that get giant, that get big. And the ending is you see a train pull up to the subway, and inside the train is just the rats eating the main cast.
There we go.
And all the people are like
Fantastic.
horrified. And then the last scene is like the rat going in front of the screen, and then just like the credit, like yeah.
I gotta put this out there just because I saw it pop up in my feed. Okay, Captain Wigglefuffle
Nice.
wrote, "Where's that damn," all in caps, damn, all in caps, "where's that damn 4th Chaos Emerald?"
Well, that's another thing I was watching. That's another thing some of the Sonic the Hedgehog, both versions.
Both versions.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little ambivalent about that. Because when you say both versions, the only thing that comes to mind is Sonic Says, Sonic
Yeah,
Says,
that's
Sonic Says,
why.
Sonic Says.
That's one of it. And then there's the good one.
And weirdly enough, I find it more. I find it more interesting to watch the Saturday, the weekday.
The weird one.
Yeah. I don't know why that one. It's maybe because it's as stupid as it is. It's more visually interesting. And I for some reason I really like Robotnik in that one because he's so hammy, and he thinks he's like so talented and clever, but he's like
Diabolical and whatnot.
you think well I love his like I love his base. He has it's just the whole his whole like ego is just in his like headquarters in his laboratory where he has that statue that's just like this. I'm just like,
well, Dr. Wily in Mega Man games is like that too. He always has these ginormous skull castles.
yeah. I
like Sonic.
Portraits of himself and shit.
I love villains like that. They're just so.
Oh yeah. They're fun.
But yeah, moving on to my next point, and
Bring
this
back to anime here.
This is probably going to be the last one I make. Is that something that we all need to do is just interact with other anime fans in real life more.
Well, that's a little harder. I understand sometimes that's hard because you're trying to find the person that
is not going to scream at you because you like strike witches.
Well, the problem is most people that know anime are going to know what's on TV, only through TV, like my cousin.
Ah, okay. Well, see, that's what cons and stuff are good for, though.
Well, here's the thing. I'm talking about like anime fans, like people who are into anime. Like if someone's on Crunchyroll, enthusiasts. There we go. That's the word. If someone's on Crunchyroll, they're probably someone who's at least someone you can engage with about this stuff. What I'm saying is like, when I go to like the anime club that I'm president of, none of this negativity, none of this infighting, none of this whole I'm better than you because X, Y, and Z, none of it. When I go to conventions, you don't really see all that much of it at conventions.
No,
it
not
doesn't
really.
happen in Meat Space.
Now, although I did get into one time. This was like in the line that I was in with Tomino. This was in 2009. It was the guy was saying because of what's Bandai's been licensing, the type of stuff that.
Were you in line with Daryl Surratt?
No, but saying Bandai's gonna go out.
They did, but not for the reason he was thinking.
Yeah.
They did, but he was also wrong. But like, it just doesn't happen nearly as often as it does on the internet.
When I was in a club like that, a type of club like that, a get-together, I guess is a better word, which a bunch of people did that. That's how I saw that. They would always say, okay, here's what we're gonna watch next. I don't know if that's how you run yours.
We vote.
Yeah, at the end of like the period or whatever, at the end of the like thing, do you do like a ballot or?
Yeah, we just
show of hands.
We put up people throw out anime they want to see. Is like, okay, Gundam Unicorn, Amagi Brilliant Park, Two Heart, Genshiken, Outlaw Star, and then we'll all just vote.
Vote on it. Okay, well, it's kind of similar.
Can we see Cowboy Bebop again?
No.
That's actually on the list of shows that we're not going to show because everyone's seen them.
Well, what's on the list? What's on that list, by the way?
Pretty much anything that's been on Toonami and... Well, not necessarily Toonami, but anything that's been on Adult Swim for the past...
So, Gundam Wing,
years.
Gundam Wing,
Inuyasha, Yu Yu Hakusho, Cowboy Bebop.
Space Dandy.
Space Dandy we can watch just because it's so recent.
I understand.
I'm more talking about stuff that if you...
Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell. If you're into this stuff, you should have already seen it, and if you haven't seen it, you can watch it on your own trivially.
Okay. I would even go so far as to say, because in mine it was a little more stringent than that. It was usually between two. We would pick two, and then they would vote on those. And the loser would usually still get watched, but watched second.
Yeah, that's basically what we do. Like the first 2 or 3, if we have time, those are what we watch. We watch an episode of each.
And there was one time, and this will tell you some insight. I've mentioned it before, but it stands to be stated again. We watched, that's where I first watched High School of the Dead.
Ah, okay.
Was in a situation like that. Okay, and I was like, oh wow, I want to go home and watch the rest of this now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It gets you pumped about it.
Right, it was really fun, and then the discussions were hilarious. Like, why are they using bats? Then you have to think about it. Well, it is a school. It's not like they probably have, like AKs hiding in the locker.
But it's like last meeting we watched Gundam Unicorn, and it was like me and 2-3 other people all sitting in the front of this big projector screen, all pumped. Like episode 2, where Full Frontal just
comes barreling through space.
Yeah, like and he's and like Homeboy is coming up from below, and he fires his beam rifle, and he just spins that laser, and it was masterful. And you get that kind of camaraderie where you're all there, you're all excited about this, you're all smiling, you're all having a great time.
Right.
That kind of thing gets you positive about anime.
It really does. And I'll tell you something else. One time, one of them was Ladies versus Butlers.
There you go.
And I was like, really? We're going to show Ladies versus Butlers in here. And I just smiled. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Because I knew what we were in for.
They probably didn't know what they were for.
No. Some people did not. And that was really funny.
It's better when they don't know. It's better when they don't know because they.
Oh yeah, because the reactions were priceless sometimes.
Yeah, that's we need to start just generally interacting with each other in real life more, because we feed off of each other when we're watching.
I would love to see you guys watch Kiss Sis in there.
He doesn't mean cannibalism, by the way.
No, okay, I got a better one. I want to see you guys watch Canon Memo in your club and see what happens.
I could probably swing that.
All right, make sure it's.
I could probably big up the show.
So let's review, shall we?
I don't even know what I said in the beginning.
Well, basically, I mean, just the main themes here. To kind of not even so much as stamp out negativity as promote kind of more positive and.
What I'm advocating for is. We need to be defiantly positive.
That sounds funny, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Defiant.
Militantly positive, defiantly positive. We're in a space right now where negativity just rules the fandom, and the only way we can't battle that, we can't chop that down, we can't fight that into submission.
You can, like I said, leave them behind.
Leave them behind. Be defiantly positive. We get pumped about your shows, and if you're not getting pumped about the shows you're watching, watch something you can get pumped about, and then talk about that. Learn to articulate that, because that's the way we go and talk about the stuff we like.
But have you ever had someone in your club that disagreed?
That didn't like the show?
That didn't want to watch, said show, or such. And you had
I have, and they just left because majority rules.
Well, not only that, but hey, you don't have to stay. Nobody's
nobody's forcing you to stay.
It's an extracurricular activity.
Yeah, it's like the show you wanted to watch didn't get voted for, and the show you didn't want to watch got voted for, and what are you gonna do? what am I gonna do if someone suggests the Flowers of Evil and everyone votes for it, and like I'm the president, and I'm not gonna be a little bitch about it.
Well, right, yeah, that's the thing. You really only have two options. You either just bow out or whatever, or two, you sit there and you bitch.
Yeah.
And the latter is just not going to do anybody any good.
No.
Not in an environment like that.
No. So we need to just be and get and know how to articulate being positive about the stuff we like.
This is cool. God.
The fact that I felt the need to suggest how to be positive about anime as a topic for this podcast is absurd to me. It really is.
Well, like I said, this sounds weird. Like you need a manual.
Yeah, like you need a manual to know how to love anime.
You can actually be positive about anime?
Imagine that. You can like anime.
Well, this is a corny.
I love anime.
Well, it's not really corny, but I guess it's overused. But it really does apply here. Be the change you want to see.
Precisely.
That's like, I'm not seeing said fan art. Okay, I'm gonna draw my own.
Make it yourself. And
draw your own porn.
Going back to the Moe Coalition, that's really what it was about. It's like, let's get together and like the stuff we like, and they can either get on board or they can go away.
I just don't understand. It made so many people so mad.
Because it
existed. It was a thing.
Because it exists. Because it was a thing. Because they were saying, you know what? We like this stuff, and if you don't, that's fine. We don't care. We are defiantly positive. We're just gonna like this stuff, and if you don't like that we like it, that's fine. No, none of us care. We're gonna continue liking it.
The worst thing I saw that came out of that was people actually actively trying to take down sites.
Yeah, like
what level of crazy are you at? Where somebody doing something like that bothers you so much
that you have to silence them. Like it's dumb. It's really dumb, and I shouldn't have had to suggest how to be positive about anime as a topic, but the fact that I feel the need to, it
tells you about
how
the climate.
Bad things are. If you'd asked me when the Moe Coalition was around and getting all the hate it was, if it could get worse, I'd say, you know what, it's pretty bad right about now, but it can't. We're at a point right now where it can't get much. It can't get much more bad than it is. It can only really get good. And now that the Moe Coalition's around, yeah, things are pretty good. And it got worse. So we're at a point now where I'm saying, and we're all saying, we can just pack up and leave and like our stuff, and anyone who's not on board can do whatever they want, go their own way. But we're leaving them behind. Our path is forward. We're going. If y'all want to stay, y'all can stay.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we need roads.
We need roads.
And like that. That's the last thing. It's like we need to just get up and go, like our stuff, enjoy ourselves. And anyone who's not on board with that, if you aren't on board, you can stay, but you will be left behind. That's the break.
We're coming up on the break, so
keep it right here on NTR Radio.
I want to be in my little nerdy cubby hole. Feels.
So yeah, my feels.
Just so done with all these people fucking.
No,
It's like-
I say that, but I do it in a goofy way. I don't really mean that. When I say my feels, that's not even usually meant to mock. That's usually meant as a joke.
Also, can we stop mocking people for, yeah.
You didn't say anything. Can
You just
can
said,
stop
yeah.
mocking people
Yeah.
for
Well, I already pretty much, we already pretty much made the point, but yeah.
If it bears repeating, it bears repeating.
Right, but we've
You know how I talk. I
Music.
don't mind saying things over and over again.
Just for liking, the things that you like, and that, but being, and then you get called out for shit taste.
well, that's on them. Really?
This whole shit taste thing. It's like, guy, you're watching cartoons. Everyone
Wah, wah.
else thinks you're a nerd.
But I'm more sophisticated.
No, you're not.
No,
You're a nerd. Shut up.
you ain't. If people like it, like what?
Dude, okay.
You're gonna
okay.
you're gonna sit there and tell me and you're doing the same shit I'm doing that like you're freaking sophisticated? No. Get out of here with that.
It's,
I'll be right back.
exactly. It's like, oh, I have an anime podcast. Yeah, you're a nerd. Yeah, and especially
if you run
if
a blog about this stuff, you're a nerd.
Oh, yeah, and if you've made a print zine, you're a real fucking nerd.
Yeah, you're a nerd. And like it's in
People just don't want to be a nerd. It's
people
funny.
talk about this stuff like it's a value judgment. It's not.
Well, I think they've seen too many 80s movies. Boy, that was just beautiful timing. That kicked in right when I said that. Over here kind of grooving to the music.
Pull up the email.
Oh, and I have a...
Oh snap! We have a third email.
But I also have something amusing I got to point out about. It's not important, but I do want to do it.
Roger that.
Do not let me forget. This is what he listens to before he goes out for an airsoft mission. We already know he loads his weaponry while listening to music that's like very.
Yeah. Hey, I have a question that we could.
If I'm for an airsoft mission, I'm quite likely listening to the C3 beer soundtrack.
Yeah. Hey, it's always weird when you tell people that I'm more interested in character than story. And
It isn't to me.
Not to me.
I totally get that.
Some people look at you like, what?
Yeah, well, that's
Because most of the media they consume is story based, not
Yes.
character based.
Quite frankly, that's what I like about anime in general. If you were to classify me in that way, I would say, oh yeah, definitely. Some people just don't like that, and it's like, well, quite frankly, I mean, as great as anime stories are, they're not going to compare with the great literature works of the world. They're just not. They're not meant for that.
Of course, then they'll look and say, but the stuff that's out doesn't have any character. Stuff that you like doesn't have any character.
Well, yeah, but see, that's where they're wrong.
Only they think that. Literally, only those people think that.
Well, why do I like it then? Okay, tell me about why I like something. Me.
Yeah, tell me why it's bad.
No, I'm not asking why it's bad.
You tell me why I like it, because apparently it doesn't have character.
Oh, because
apparently you know me better than I know me.
Because I bet you like the
It's
fat while watching.
ridiculous.
I bet you fat while watching.
And if I did, what do you have something?
Yeah, if I did, what?
Yeah, okay, let's
Get at me. Let's go.
Yo, so
I got the play carrier on. Let's go.
Yeah, okay, let's go with that. I mean,
I fat while the part of Monogatari, that any part that Mayo is on screen. Okay, sure, that's what you think.
well, for one, I don't really even have to dignify some of this stupid shit with a response.
I know.
Some of it's just dumb. Like, just dumb. Nothing but dumb.
Not gonna lie, some of this sounds a little like porn music.
I could
No
kinda
idea
see
why. This is the Daytona USA soundtrack.
I could kind of see it as porn music.
I mean old porn music, not, you know.
You're gonna buy that CD, are you? The '70s porn.
No, I'm
I'm
not.
gonna spend money on that.
No, and if I did, I would buy the one that was awesome sounding. That would be 99 cents as an MP3.
Music of porn.
I don't even remember which one it was on. I just remember the name of it being like Pimp Fight or something like that.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't stop laughing at that. Just like, wow. Music also, there's also kind of a weathery channel kind of sound to some of this stuff too. I know that because I watched the Weather Channel. When it's actually showing weather.
There's actually Porn Groove or Porno Groove is the music soundtrack to typical pornographic films or genres of such music. The electric guitar with wah wah pedal.
Wah wah pedal, yeah.
Those kind of used in porn groups. That's where the sounding drums, the rim shot sound beams with porn. Deep.
All right, ready on third segment.
Yeah.
Bring it.
In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to NTR Radio.
Before you get to that, I actually have an announcement.
Do it.
Okay. Somebody, and I think they actually did want me to say their name, so I will. They go by @Muhotsukai. All right. They have given me a new nickname.
Uh-oh.
Well, that sounds weird because I already have a nickname. It's Chaos.
I was never... Well, okay, that's discounting Time and Force Noobs. I was never able to hold down a nickname. People either refer to me as my first name, my last name, or my first and last name.
This should have been this one should have probably happened before now, but it hasn't. So now, apparently, I am now K-Ton.
K-Ton.
Yeah, K-T-A-N.
T-A-N. K-Ton.
Yes. Yes. Rather endearing. I like. Did I walk into a visual novel?
K-Ton!
Can't you just hear that?
George Washington. Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, that's horrible, man.
Abraham Lincoln.
Okay. Oh, God. Way to ruin it. No, seriously, I was like, wow. How has no one ever thought of that before? So yeah, I'm not saying I'm gonna go by that. I'm just saying that some people are calling me that now.
Anyway, we have mail.
Incoming message.
This first one's coming from Zeke Freak. Yo, what the fuck up? It's Zeke Freak, the one and only. Okay, so we all know Moe is not objectively bad and we should support the shows we like and all that. But do you ever get the feeling that the industry is trying to push Bishoujo too hard? Last season I did an episode of the Baika Gaijin show, updated every Wednesday, on this topic, and said that 21 out of 49 shows I counted as airing that season qualified as one type of Bishoujo or another. Does this not strike anyone as particularly ridiculous? As VZ pointed out before, not all moe, harem, ecchi, and whatever shows sell well. Many actually sell quite poorly. Which one can reasonably attribute to an oversaturation in the market, as well as the human body's need to eat once in a while? It's as if the industry doesn't even pay attention to its own numbers. Bishoujo is not a guaranteed success, so why is there so damn much of it? I'm not seeing exorbitant demand on either side of the pond, or at least not any more so than other genres. The moe haters' argument that the industry only does it for the money is clearly false, but then what is it? You can pick and choose titles to exemplify diversity in the medium these days all you want, but the sheer number of Bishoujo titles can't be ignored. Again, this isn't some objective flaw in the shows themselves, but rather I'm just curious as to why the anime industry is making such irrational decisions. They're producing way more than is demanded, and more than people's wallets could ever handle. You'd think they'd get the memo at some point. And yes, I realize Bishoujo is a staple in visual novels and printed media, manga, light novels, doujins, etc. But those have lower barriers to entry to creators who want to make that sort of stuff. I'm only talking about the anime industry specifically. If this is the creators thing, that's one thing, but at some point I start to question the business sense of it all. Discuss that, fools.
Okay, I got. Go back to the 80s when there was just everything had robots. Didn't matter if it fit or not. Nearly, so many things just had robots in it. Just a robot saturation. And when you think about it, not all those things are remembered. So in fact, a lot of it's forgotten.
Exactly.
So it's the same thing. It's just that's just the way that business is done, which in that industry is take something that sells well, but only a small amount of it, and saturate the bejesus out of it, and just keep going at it until it just you know.
And to a certain extent, it's that. To a certain extent, it's, okay, you have a decision to make. Either you can make a Bishoujo show, which is not guaranteed to be a success, but has a higher chance of being a success than basically any other show you can make.
Also, the other thing is, a lot of these things, they're going to sell as much as they know that they sell. Like, if 300 units is all that they sell, and that's all they predict will sell, then that's
how hard the budget's going to be.
Yeah. It's they know they make these things with very specific audiences.
They make these decisions more carefully than people think.
Yeah.
I would also say you got to kind of put into the mix different companies and stuff too that are competing with each other.
Yeah, that's another thing.
It's with each other, and like they're not. It's not like friggin' JC Staff's looking at. Give me just a random anime studio. I'm drawing a blank.
Sunrise.
JC Staff's looking at Sunrise, and they're saying, "Oh man, Sunrise is doing a Bishoujo show. Better scrap all that we worked on so far and whatever we have." They work on this stuff simultaneously, and they put it out there, and the hope is that it's good enough that it garners some attention and sells. And some of it doesn't do that. It's basically the same thing with any product, really.
Well, there's also the idea that I'm not saying they don't look around at other studios. I mean, I'm sure like when something does hit, like have a kind of an impact, like say, I don't know, Haruhi or Madoka or something like that. You know, they see that and go, oh, we want to make our own.
So, exactly. Like I was talking about the show Yuki Yuna as a hero.
Well, no. That's not what I mean. I don't necessarily mean to copy it.
Oh, all right.
I don't mean to copy it. I mean to copy its success model.
Oh, the copy. All right. Well.
And basically my point is that these studios aren't like, they're not like chatting with each other. Okay, what are you gonna make? Oh, you're making the Bishoujo show? Okay, I'll make the Super Robot show this season.
No, it's competitiveness too.
It's competitive, and they're all trying to get this limited amount of money, and your choice is you can make a Bishoujo show, which has a higher chance of making a return than basically whatever else you can make, or you can make something else, which is almost a guaranteed failure,
The other thing
relatively
is,
speaking.
wait, the other thing is really like Bishojo shows, they're gonna have a better chance of making merchandise on the rather than you can't really do like the stuff that a lot of the Western fan base wants. You
Yeah.
really can't make incendiary merchandise on a lot of that stuff. It just
Or even if you do, a lot of people don't buy it.
Exactly.
it's the other thing is
Push it out, VZ.
push.
That sounds like a pipe clogger.
Yeah. No, but it's. I mean, I guess you could say, oh, maybe they're lazy and they don't want to craft something with a narrative. But at the same time, the market is so cutthroat right now that they're gonna try to just work with what works best right now.
Yep.
And
Plus you also have the stuff not being original stuff. It's adaptations
that's another thing. They're adaptations of
things that previously already existed.
And a lot of this stuff is work for hire. They don't really get a choice in what they make.
That's another one. Despite what some people like, oh, they're doing this for the money.
Most people do things for money.
They are doing it for the money.
They are doing it for the money.
They got hired, and now they're being paid for it.
They're not doing it for free.
Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with doing things for the money.
No.
At the same time,
Hey, if it makes a good product, it makes a good product.
people would say, oh, there's lack of artistic integrity, and I disagree. I see a lot of you just have to look at it.
I just hate art.
Yeah, I am increasingly becoming more like that.
Anyway.
I am seeing a lot of artistic creative. It's you just gotta look at the variations and comparisons and
See,
things.
Depends on where you're
The reason I hate art, though, is because that's the only instance in which the word art is used. When it's trying to say, okay, this is art, this is not art, this is artistic, this is not artistic. It's a useless term only used when people want to have dumb semantic discussions about whether something about basically labeling whatever they don't like is not art.
Yeah, I really hate the point of when someone says, although this was probably your point for Tamako Market, like when someone says, does the show have a point? And I'm like, why does it need a point? Can't it just be enjoyable?
My thing for Tamako Market, it was, if it's gonna not have a point, it needs to stop looking like it's going to have a point. And if it's gonna have a point, it needs to be apparent that it's gonna have a point. Anyway, regardless, next email.
All right.
Incoming message.
This one's coming from Cube the Third. Hey yo, NTR. Been a while since I submitted some mail to y'all. Since I'm a Konami guy, I've been watching Gurren Lagann for the first time, and each episode seems to keep consistently pumping me up each time, and I'm regretting not watching it when it first aired in Japan. However, there seems to be one comparison that seems to really irk me, and that's people comparing the show to Evangelion. I get that both these shows are made by Gainax, however, comparing these shows is real brainless in my opinion. It's like comparing an apple to an orange. I was wondering how you guys feel about this comparison. Do you feel it's off base? Why or why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I absolutely feel it's off
Completely
base.
off base.
Because Gurren Lagann, to me, calls back to a time before that was even made.
Gurren Lagann calls back to Super Robot anime.
Thank you.
I would compare Gurren Lagann rather with Gunbuster.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely.
Direct comparison, it's Gunbuster.
I would say so, simply for the fact, like I said, because the ideas and a lot of even the visual look to it calls back to a time before Evangelion.
Exactly.
To me. Just speaking for me personally. But everything gets compared to Evangelion.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly because it's such a cultural watershed for the,
For the medium.
right. So it's going to get compared to it on some level anyway.
Right.
I mean, wouldn't you hate to have been a filmmaker after Citizen Kane came out? That shit would have been annoying.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, it continues. Also, since you guys have been talking it up as of late, I've been thinking about getting back into Gundam. I've seen most of the stuff on Cartoon Network, Wing, G Gundam, Seed, from what I can recall. But what would you recommend to someone who wants to get back into the series?
Ooh.
No Fighters.
I'd highly recommend Build Fighters.
It's
a lot of fun, but it's also one of those ones that I think you can gain a little more appreciation if you have seen stuff, simply because you'll get all the references.
Okay, I'm going to throw this out there.
Certainly.
None of you are going to agree with me, but I'm going to say it. Gundam F91. Because
yeah, I can't agree with that.
Very little knowledge of previous, and it's beautifully produced. And yes, there's minor characterization. I don't care. That's probably what I like about it. Is it's nonstop action.
Okay.
I'd say 8th MS Team.
Yep, I was just gonna say that.
If
you're talking about UC, I mean, if you're just talking about in general, like if you're including alternative universes and all that stuff, that's a little trickier.
AUs, I would recommend the first season of Gundam 00. I really enjoyed it.
It's pretty fun. I mean,
Don't watch the second season.
I mean,
it does not exist.
I won't go that far. Heck, I mean, as much as I make fun of it, I really don't hate Gundam Wing as much as I pull on.
No, I reasonably enjoyed it.
I playfully poke fun of it.
I saw a little bit, but I actually do want to one day watch all of G. I would like to one day watch all of G Gundam.
G Gundam's nice.
All those national stereotypes.
But yeah, I'd definitely recommend 8th MS Team.
Because that's short.
It's short, and you don't really need to know a whole lot about Gundam to appreciate it.
No.
All you need to know is that there's mobile suits, and then you're just thrust into this like Vietnam style kind of like MASH sort of.
Southeast Asia, kind of locked
Asian,
into the mud kind of shit.
It's like Nam with Gundams. It's like Nam
it really
with Zombies.
And the thing is it does take place during the first series.
Exactly. You
don't need to know the
war set.
But you don't need to know the events surrounding it to enjoy it.
And even past that, if you watch that and then watch First Gundam, you kind of have more of an appreciation for the entire 1 Year War.
Right, because this kind of shit was happening everywhere.
You can see like when Girin's speech happens, and you can say, okay, Shiro Amada was on his way to Earth in the ship right here when this is happening.
This is where the Southeast craziness was going on.
Exactly. It gives you a better appreciation of the world and the storyline like that.
It also makes it more expansive.
Yes. I would also recommend 0080.
Yeah, 0080.
You can't. Again, short.
It's short, and it's something that kind of gives you a bigger perspective on the whole world. Because this is all stuff that's gonna get you interested in. Hopefully, is gonna get you interested in the whole Universal Century timeline and all the things that happen in that, and then you can go in and watch Gundam and watch Zeta and Double Zeta, Char's Counterattack, Unicorn, all that. I might say watch Unicorn, like between when you start this and when you watch Char's Counterattack, because I feel like that's given me a better appreciation of the state of the world as it progressed.
I will say, to me, it would be hard to see Unicorn unless you've seen the stuff before it to truly appreciate it.
I kind of get what you're saying, because I know what happens before it, but I haven't seen it.
So I mean, you can do whatever you want, obviously.
I'm saying, yeah, no, but I do get what you're saying, and that might just be me because I do know what happens. But
also, if you are gonna watch
I'd
First Gundam, but you don't want to do the long haul pull, I would recommend watching the films.
yeah,
If you want to do that
Yeah,
instead,
that's what I did.
I'm not saying you shouldn't watch the series. You definitely should. But if time is limited and you kind of want to like a crash course, it's probably the only movies, the compilation type movies that were done well.
Mm.
Would you recommend Reconquista?
I honestly, you could watch it, but at the same time, if you've never seen anything Tomino does, it might be a bit of a shock to the system.
See, I think that's what like a lot of people, they've just probably never seen Tomino.
right.
Because let's be honest, this is directly, you can just look at it and say, oh, this is the same person who made Turn a Gundam. Very obviously, You get
I saw the
that vibe.
compilation Turn movies, by the way.
There's certain things you probably don't want to watch first, though. There definitely are. Zeta would be one of them.
Don't watch Zeta first.
It would be impossible to follow what's going on.
Exactly. But yeah, so he continues. Also, so listeners who tune into our show and are expecting MP3 archive versions of our show, I do apologize. I've just been busy with other things and haven't gotten the chance to compile all the shows we did so far into MP3 form. Also iTunes and stuff, which I won't get into. But as soon as I get to them, they will be up there for you to listen to on the go. That's all. Keep kicking ass, Cube the Third.
Thank you, Cube the Third.
Yeah.
And that turns out that wasn't all because he sent another one.
Incoming message.
I meant to include this with the last message. A quote I found on Tumblr. Hear me out. Pessimism and cynicism aren't always...
Mission failed.
Pessimism isn't always deep. Optimism is not always dumb. That's it.
Yep. Well, certainly not. Obviously, but yeah. I can understand why wanting to, like, if you weren't really much of a Gundam person, but you were interested, I can see where that would be intimidating.
Oh, certainly.
It's like if you were interested in Star Trek but didn't know shit.
Yeah.
Like that would be pretty intimidating. You got Trekkies that know fucking everything, and there's so many different different kind of entry levels,
different sections of the timeline.
And some of them, to be fair, don't exactly align perfectly.
Right.
But that's just one of those things you gotta, just kind of shrug it off a little bit. Just like, whatever, It's a better story for it, So
anyway, that's the show.
So, go ahead.
The email address is ntrradio@gmail.com. The website is she'slostcontrol.net/podcast. Docuwash.com is a thing now.
Yeah. Hello. Woot woot.
Mission successful.
As always, you can find VZ's stuff at vzmk2moyamekagatai.wordpress.com.
Yeah, I just put a funny YouTube video on this week.
Speaking of which, I am actually currently writing the article that's basically my history with anime.
There we go.
Right now, so.
Check out Shinakiba Anime Goods. Got a bunch of figures on there, as well as, let me do this real quick. The Task Force MOE patch, which is up right now, and not only that, but when checking out, you can use the promo code NTR to get a discount.
That's funny on more than one level.
In any case, I'm Tom Enforcer Nubis.
And I'm apparently Katon.
And I'm Moe Pig VZ Mark II.
And even though Zex shoots us down in a Leo every time we say it, this is NTR Radio.
Nice.